Next, let's do a comparison with the Novostella compared to the Lohas LED and Yeelight. So they're in varying wattage values and lumens values. I've shown them on the screen. So lumens represents the brightness levels. Novostella is the brightest one of the three bulbs.
Hi there, today we're unboxing a smart LED bulb pack. So this particular one is from Novostella and it's a 3-pack. Details are in the description below for anyone thinking of purchasing. So this particular LED smart bulb is 13 watt. It's RGBCW, meaning it's multicolored and it can do cool white and warm white as well. They say it's 120 watt halogen bulb equivalent. So quite interested to see how it performs with other bulbs out there. Sometimes I think these companies do give an illusion about how bright they can be. So what I'm going to do towards the end of this video, I'm actually going to do a comparison for multiple bulbs and see how the brightness levels compare with other bulbs. So let's open it up and see what you get in the packaging. Okay, so I've laid out all the items you get in the packaging, so let me quickly run through them. You get a card, and if I open that up, has support details and info on extending the warranty by extra 6 months. You get a user guide, and if I flick through that, you can see it's multi-language. Let's take a look at one of the bulbs. So you get 3 in this pack. Design-wise, it has a matte white finish all the way around and flat edges, as you can see on there. If I come in close, details regarding the bulb on there. Fitting is a bayonet fitting on there, and build-wise, it feels nice and solid. Clear bit, obviously this is where your lighting will come out of, and it's fairly similar to a standard bulb fitting. I've got some other smart bulbs here at the side. So this one is from Lohas, and as you can see, the bottom area on the Novostella one is slightly larger. So this one curves in, this one is more straightened up. And now if I look at another one from Yeelight, you can see again the lower area does look slightly larger. Bulb itself from the top, very similar in size with both these bulbs. So build wise it does feel good. So let's make a start at setting up this smart LED bulb. You've seen me do it many a time, and the app we're going to use for this is Smart Life, and that's another app I've used many a time, and that's the app I actually use for the smart tech in my home. So to get this installed, go to the Play Store, search for Smart Life, there's the app you're after, get it installed, register an account, and then you'll be presented with this. Click on the plus, go to lighting, Wi-Fi, make sure the bulb's blinking. So I've connected to a fitting here. Let me just turn it on. Give it a second, let's see if it starts blinking. Okay, oh, there you go, it's blinking away. Next we'll click confirm indicator rapidly blink. Confirm the Wi-Fi settings. Just to note, this only works on 2.4G Wi-Fi. Let's give it a moment to connect. There you go, add it in. I'm going to click done, and that's what you're presented with. Let me go back just to show the shortcut. So there is a shortcut to turn it off and on. There you go in there. Functionalities similar to what I've shown before. As you can see, all the settings are exactly what I've shown previously. You can rename it easily as well, and I'm going to rename it now. I'm going to call this one Test Light. Let's come back again, briefly run through the options at the bottom. So white color wise, you've got brightness, standard functionality, and then you've got color temperature. So it's on cool white at the moment, and that's warm white. I like the fact it has this, really, because I am a bigger fan of the warm white. I don't really like the cool white that much, so it's nice to have that. And again, just to note, the brightness levels on the lamp do feel very high. Let me take it down. Now coming back, let's go to color mode, and color wheels there. You can just flip between the different colors. So nice. If I click there, you can turn it off, turn it on. Going back in there, you can change the saturation and the brightness of the color as well. Color representation, let's have a look, go around the wheel. Doesn't seem too bad, seems good. Okay, coming back from there, you've got the default scenes. These are just predefined scenes, and a schedule where you can set timers for where you want the light to turn on and off automatically. So if you're away from home, you can get that going as well. So there you go, very simple to add in. Next, let me briefly show the bulb working with both the Amazon product and Google Home in terms of voice control. So my Android phone, if I go to the Home app for Google Home, and adding in is very simple. I've shown this many a time. Go to here, setup, and then works with Google. And then you just add in the service called Smart Life, which I've got just over here. Enter in your credentials and it'll be linked in. Now coming back, scrolling down, you can see it just there. So as normal, you've got a shortcut. You can turn it off from here, turn it back on again, go in there, turn it on and off from there, and then you've got your color settings. Go to the default colors that are there, and as simple as that. Now if I unmute my Google Home,
the microphone is back on.
I can say turn off test light.
Okay, turning the test light off.
Turn on test light.
Sure, turning on the test light.
Change test light color to red.
Okay, changing the test light to red.
Change test light brightness to 10%.
Sure, setting the test light brightness to 10%.
Next, let me show the bulb briefly in action with the Amazon device. I've got the Amazon app here. Coming in the side, going to skills and games. The skill we're after is Smart Life. That's the skill we want. If you haven't got it enabled, obviously enable it, enter in your credentials. Then if we go to devices, lights, come down here, you can see test light there. It's the same functionality as with the Google Home, so you can turn it on and off with this and change colors as well. Shown all this before, previous bulbs. And now coming back, if I unmute my device, I can say turn off test light.
Okay.
Turn on test light.
Okay.
I won't show the other functionality, it's all the same. You can change colors, you can change brightnesses, but very simple to set up and get going on this.
Next, let's do a comparison with the Novostella compared to the Lohas LED and Yeelight. So they're in varying wattage values and lumen values. I've shown them on the screen. So lumens represents the brightness levels. Novostella is the brightest one of the three bulbs. Now I'm using the Google Home app to change between different colors. So I'm picking the same one for each light every time. Now, if we first start off with the daylight color, so in terms of daylight value, I think both the Lohas and the Yeelight represented them slightly better than the Novostella. Now, in terms of the picture you're seeing at the moment, I was taking them on my Samsung S10 Plus, so I hope it does sort of do it justice. It's fairly accurate, you could say. And if you look at the daylight value for the Novostella, you'd say it gives more of a warmer tint on the daylight value. Now, if we move on next to the warm white, now looking on there, Lohas LED didn't have a warm white setting on there, but I thought, let me just set it anyway and see what it appears as. And it's not that good, as you can see. It doesn't represent it even the slightest, only because it's not supported. Now, in terms of warm white color, Yeelight probably looks a little bit more yellowy, as you can see. Novostella did look good when it was on. Now, let's move on to just a blatant gold color. And I think Novostella represented that better. And when you're actually viewing the bulb in person, it did look good. Now, moving on to dark red. This is where Yeelight looked really good. Nice, vivid red on there. Whereas Novostella came in a good second on that. Probably comparable, but slightly stronger with the Yeelight. Then moving on to magenta. Now, looking at that, I think easily Novostella. Color-wise, it looked really good. Let's move on now. Next one is indigo. And I think with this one, it's a tricky one. I think Novostella did do good, but both Yeelight and Lohas LED did look good on these. And next, the ultramarine. So Novostella didn't do good on this. You can see didn't represent it too well in person. It looked okay, didn't look too bad, but you can see the Yeelight and the Lohas represented it much better. Moving on finally to forest green. Yeelight is the winner with this one. I think color representation was very good on there. So there you go. These are the color selections I just wanted to show, just to give you an example of the whites on there, the warm whites, the cool whites, the colors on there. Just a small selection of colors just to give you an idea and just to keep the consistency. Obviously, I did use the Google Home app. In terms of color representation, I think the Yeelight did slightly better, but in terms of brightness levels, I think the Novostella was very good.
Okay, so you've seen the unboxing and setup of this smart LED bulb from Novostella. Excellent functionality. I love the fact it works with Tuya and the Smart Life app. So big plus for me because I'm using that mostly in my home. In terms of brightness levels, probably the brightest Smart Life bulb I've come across so far. In terms of color representation, I think it's a difficult one to judge in terms of photos because sometimes photos don't give colors the justice they deserve. But if you compare it to other bulbs like the Yeelight, the color representation on the Yeelight seemed a bit more vivid on there compared to this. I'm not saying this one has bad color representation. The color representation is still good, but the Yeelight does do better in terms of color, but brightness levels on this one were very good. So there you go. I hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing this. Details are in the description below. Thanks for viewing, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.